Happy Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Uh, Nisha and I are super sorry that we missed last week, but unfortunately, I was under the weather, and there was absolutely no way that I could be on here and have a uh, disposition that would would allow me to be in front of the screen. So I'm sure that, like many others, uh, I know at least one friend that is recovering from pneumonia. So everybody's kind of dealing with a little something right now about his like cold allergies. With that, we are back. We are here and ready to have a great conversation on a trauma hangup that uh, I am positive that many of you out there probably have experienced or are experiencing now, or you have moments where it comes into your life, because this is definitely two different words that uh, especially those of us who've been through trauma, uh, find that we are in that constant battle with it. With that, I am so excited to see my sidekick, Nisha. We have not seen each other for a couple weeks now due to the fact that I have been under the weather. So I'm so glad to have her back in the saddle with me. So, hello, Nisha.
Hi, Kimberly.
So, uh, how has things been in your world? Hopefully, a little bit better than I have been experiencing.
I can say that I have not been under the weather or sick or anything, but I have been down a little bit, just
Mm,
exhausted. You know how life tries to kick you and kick you and kick you, and then you keep
mm-hmm.
kicking? You can only kick for so long. It's time to take a rest. So, your lady coach has been taking a rest and trying to adjust to some changes that's going on in my life. It's been beautiful, but it's been tiresome at the same time. Oh no, what do we do, right? So that's what's
I
been
know
going on in my
exactly.
life.
Oh, yeah. I've been there. So I feel like I'm going through that, on a regular basis. So there's just uh it's kind of one of those things, Nisha. I think you and I need to actually implement what it is that we suggest and talk about and promote. So uh, it may find some relief on either of our ends. Uh, sometimes having the glass, you know, uh, full is fantastic, but when it is like completely like a river dam flowing over, that's when things seem to get a little uh, confusing, boggled. So, who else out there finds themselves in that same situation on a regular basis? And it really actually kind of gets into what we're talking about this week, anyhow, just in your you know what you kind of feel like the spot you've been in the last several weeks, and that is uh, dealing with self-doubt and rediscovering your identity. And uh, you know my thought is like, you know, you don't necessarily have to have gone through trauma to feel like you're at that crossroads of experiencing doubt in what you think your capabilities are, uh, or where your strengths and weaknesses are, and also finding yourself at different points in your life of rediscovering who you are, because as we continue to get older, you know we have life experience and we grow and we change, and hopefully it's for the positive. That that old saying that
Yes.
as you get older you get wiser, because and it doesn't mean that you have this much more intelligence, but you have life experience that gives you that 2020 vision looking at the past. And how many times have you found yourself trying to give somebody who's younger that you see them experiencing something that you specifically went through yourself, and it has fallen on deaf ears.
Woo. That made me laugh, and not because it's funny, it's because I can relate to that.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, the ears still work, but you're just like, did they not just okay? Maybe they need to go through a little bit more, right?
absolutely. Oh my gosh, yeah, I 100% agree on that. And especially when I know for certain that it is something specifically that I completely ignored when I was younger, that I
Hmm.
avoided. I felt like I knew better. I was the smartest 20 something, 30 something. And now I look back, and it's always moments of being humbled.
What is that?
Right?
Oh my
I know,
goodness.
I know. So,
Man.
you know, uh, there was recently that uh, I read a quote, and I thought it was so wise. It's very short, but sometimes something short has tremendous amount of meaning in it. And the quote went is that uh, when you heal the inner girl, the woman comes steps forward.
Yes. Ooh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Is that
Powerful.
not impactful? And sometimes
Yes.
it takes several times of like kind of rereading it in order for uh, for you to start thinking of things that maybe possibly that for certain that uh, you have not dealt with, you have not, faced, or maybe you have grown, but you have not gone and had that conversation with, that woman, that girl at whatever that age is. And, you know, uh, I don't know if most people realize is that, especially if you've had, trauma in your life, from, from the time you're a toddler all the way through whatever age that is, that you actually you continue to grow. You can still attain, if it's like a degree you get, or if there's a trait, like whatever it is you can do. But how you react to situations, how you are able to be in friendships, relationships, uh, it does not, it always reacts based on that age that that trauma happened, that you stop that development. And it cannot go, it cannot grow up until you have dealt with that particular trauma at that age.
Right.
And I had heard about it for years.
That is so
And
true.
uh, yeah, I'm probably uh, the most guilty of uh, avoiding it at all costs. So I know firsthand when you actually go back and give that girl at those ages grace, and let them know that uh, they're they are beautiful, they are wonderful, they are smart. Like it does work out. Like no need to stress anymore. Like you are really really good. And so I try very very hard to share my personal experiences of of avoiding what is important to address. So I'm knowing how you and I are so similar, I'm going to go with the fact, Nisha, that you have probably had one or two of those experiences yourself.
Did you say one or two?
Right. Well, I was just being nice,
Look, when I hear inner child or inner girl, when I hear that, I think about the petty moments that we have when we know, like, I'm an adult here, but we do childish things. Oh my goodness. I had several of those moments, even at this very age. It's like,
Yeah.
it's hilarious because I know what's going on. When it comes to our inner child, our inner girl, whoever she wants to be at the moment, like Kimberly was talking about, when that trauma or when that happens, say for instance, it was at age 7, that's your inner child's age. So whatever the trauma happened, whatever age I should say, that's the age of your inner child. Whatever your thought can go back to, mine goes back to 12. And I already know
Yeah.
when I want to be petty, because that's the word I keep hearing, you're being petty. And I'm like, oh, what is that? I know it's my inner child. I know it is. I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
sounds like fun. It's
Yeah.
fun to me, the child version of myself, but not the rediscovery version of myself. Like, I don't behave like that. I don't do those things. Remember, you just said we're humble, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, as you speak about that, is that, there's a couple things that I think of, and that falls under that. And one is that, uh, you know, we choose not to celebrate any of the small wins that we have as we're going towards to achieving, like, no matter whatever goal that you may possibly have set for yourself.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it is in your personal life or career wise, or maybe it's just that I'm going to start getting up at this time, or it is I want to start working out, or like it can be anything. And when we start going and working towards it, that we don't celebrate any of those small milestones that we complete. And what happens when we don't celebrate the small victories is the chances of us reaching that goal continue to, like, the percentage of us reaching it goes down, because we have not taken the time
Yes.
to give ourselves uh, the ability to look at what the achievement is up to that point. And uh, boy, I tell you what, I just look back at my self experiences, and I was infamous that if I was getting close to a goal, I would raise it. So then I never felt the um, the chance to celebrate what I had accomplished, because then it was like never enough. I would the word that I would use, which is something that we teach in several of our classes, is that that's like self sabotaging. I set myself up for failure, because then I, constantly feeling like I haven't attained, what my goal is. Because if you set it higher, then of course you can always fail.
Mm. Ooh, that is deep. So, how many of you out here, I can't say out there because I have done it myself, how many of you out here have some goals in mind that you set for yourself and you feel like, you know what, as soon as I get close enough, I'm going to raise it. As soon as I get close to the next one, I'm going to raise it again. What do you do to yourself when that happens? Because mentally, you already reached the goal. So you never celebrated that win. So now you set the bar higher, you never celebrated that win either. So how do you, Kimberly, how do you celebrate your wins and your victories that you have set for yourself?
Oh my gosh, I'm so okay. It's almost like you knew what happened to me today, because it gives me an opportunity to show you what, if you do it correctly versus what I used to do. And I will
Yes.
absolutely 100% admit that this is the first time that I have ever phrased something this way for myself, because I always felt uncomfortable doing it. So, I have shared about the, accelerated, uh, program that I'm doing online. And today showed where, again, for another session, it came out. And then it shows like the past session since, I started. And so I put on there, I said, I am super proud of myself for what I have accomplished. And I had a screenshot of showing that the session that just ended uh, last week, uh, another 4 point, and it showed every session since I started of all the president's lists that I was on with a 4 point every single semester. And normally, I would not, I would send it and I'd say, uh, uh, what do you think of this? Well, why do I have to look for people's opinion of what they think in order to feel good about what I accomplished? Because I'm the one who did it. I'm the one who put the time in. I'm the one who signed up for it. I'm the one who put the
Yes.
goal in. And therefore, I'm the one that should feel good and step forward and take the credit. And I have, as does everybody, have the right to sit there and say, I am proud of myself. I am, you know, can look at this and say that I did this. There is so much freedom in that. And just think of how much more you can grow when you give yourself the permission and understanding that uh, you have value and that you have worth. And uh, it is okay to say, I am proud of myself. There is a huge difference between saying, I'm proud of myself and what other people think of as being like, self centered. So that is
I love that.
my
So what you did right there is,
example of exactly what it is that you were talking about.
oh, I love it. So what you did right there is you didn't
You
look
are
for
on mute,
others to
Nisha.
validate you.
We
You
cannot hear you. You
validated
are on mute.
yourself. Huh? You can you hear me now?
Nisha, you have to get off mute.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
nope, still can't hear you.
No?
So as you figure out that for a second, I will do what I'm good at,
Technology,
and
don't
that's
you
just
love it?
I'll keep talking, and then as soon as I hear you, I will say, "Hear you." So, uh, but uh, this is something that
Can you
when
hear me?
those have been through trauma, uh, it is really, really difficult to give yourself credit for anything whatsoever because you have uh, been in a space where uh, it was never allowed to be about you. It was always about someone else's feelings, somebody else's demands, somebody else's feeling of control of how life should be, and also making life where you are accountable for uh, everything, that like everything is your fault. So how do you uh, you know, uh, kind of celebrate yourself if all you have ever done is felt like you had to figure out how you're responsible for everything that has gone on. That is really, really difficult. And that's where self doubt finds its home, is that self doubt
Yes,
is not something that we're born with. Self doubt is something that is a learned behavior. That comes
it
through
is.
uh, you know maybe it's adverse childhood you had in your home. It could be built with how you felt that you were looked at and took on as uh, the influence of the other classmates around you. And I couldn't even imagine today with social media how that like is uh, exemplified by like you know 100 as far as what that can do for your disposition of self-doubt on any decisions that you're making. So um, you know this is a huge topic that I don't think I can't remember the last time I actually heard somewhere where this was talked about at all. Let's try and see
I
it. Like,
haven't.
can we hear you? We still can't hear you.
You still can't
So
hear me at all?
I don't know what to do. Should we maybe have you sign out and sign back in and see if we can get you to like, uh, uh, excellent. So we will, okay.
Can you hear me?
Still can't hear you. Why don't you just totally sign back out and I will, and then use the link to sign back in and I will let you back in and we'll just go right back to our conversation. So we are, okay. So I am going to sit here and we'll just kind of go on a little bit and I know Nisha will be right back. So with that, uh, my question to all of you is that, how many of you are in a spot right now where it doesn't matter if it's something about how you're feeling in your career or if it has to do with something that is in your personal life or just yourself, feel like you're dealing with uh, self-doubt, like you don't have that confidence to like make that step to ask for a raise, to put a resume in for a promotion, or maybe it's for a different company for something that you've really wanted to do but you've been afraid to do that. Some of the other things that self-doubt shows itself is that self-comparison. Oh my gosh, like I would love to be able to put my self into the uh, for that position, but I like I'm just not as good as the other person. That is something that is a common thing that so many of us experience, and I know that I am just as guilty, for doing that. Nisha, can we hear you now?
You hear me? You still can't hear me?
I cannot hear you still.
You still can't hear me?
Nope. Uh, would it help if I sent you a new invite? Do you think maybe that would make a difference?
I am not sure. Let's try.
Or maybe it's on your settings on your computer versus on the screen here. Or maybe if you put headphones in, would that make a difference?
Can you hear me now?
Technology is one of those love-hate relationships. So I just got figured out how to get my screen all clear again. So I've been dealing with that for a couple of weeks. So I give all the understanding in the world to that feeling of the experience that Nisha's having with no volume available. So let's just give her a second and see if we can make that all come together. Did you send me a text or something? Oh, here we go.
No.
I don't think it's anything on my end that I can do to help you out there.
Mhm.
Do you want to have both of us restart the whole thing?
Let me see. I'm trying to.
Just shake your head yes or no. Okay, we will be right back. We're going to restart this so that we can get Nisha on board.